Okay, hello good people, it's me David, hopefully you're having a fantastic day. This video is just about my startup venture in Japan that ultimately failed, and not due to lack of agreements or effort. It was just COVID and then a series of events that really took it out. Number one, Austrade, basically the Australian government that promotes trade and cooperation between countries, wrote a report that Japan needs teacher training, for English teacher training. And Australia have an organisation called the Australian Skills Quality Authority, which makes for high quality vocational training programs. One of them is in TESOL, which I am a trainer in. I organised a license and distribution deal in order to deliver the program in Japan, and I started before COVID, about 2 years before COVID. It was slow at start due to the fact that really, if you want to go to Japan, as long as you have a bachelor degree, you can become an English teacher practically in 3/4 of the institutions they have there, businesses they have there. So that was one of the reasons it started off slow, but there was some interest still, and the interest was with vocational colleges in Japan, and even a university. So I went to Austrade saying, listen, I've spent my money on setting it up, getting it running, it's just starting to move now. What I really need to do is be introduced to the right people. And unfortunately Austrade was practically just, give us the money, we don't want to do anything else for you, congratulations on setting it up, we just want the money. And that was the extent of the conversation. I mean, it was nothing else. So if you think Austrade is going to help the small guy who doesn't have a lot but has invested a lot of his time, energy and his own personal money in things, they just don't care. And you've got to expect that from the Australian government in anyway, as you see how they're treating Julian Assange as if he doesn't exist. So what ended up happening was that while the agreements were being put in place, and I'll say with two major vocational colleges in Tokyo and Osaka, something happened, and that was that in the agreement was that there would be visa sponsorship. But the breakdown occurred when they didn't understand exactly what that meant. I think that I would get a visa to stay in Japan through these businesses, through these colleges. Things just started to become difficult when they had to do something on their end, which I don't think they had done before for a startup. And I'm not going to mention their names because I just think it's basically they signed these agreements thinking that I would be able to do everything by myself, and they wouldn't have to have any responsibility for any action involved in the memorandum of agreement we signed, which stated what they would do. There was a miss there, saying that there would be assistance with David's work permit. I mean, it was clear as day. You can't get it any clearer. But when it came to that, they said, "Oh, we just are not able to do that." You've signed it. You're not going to do it. And then COVID hit, and nothing happened for a year. And because I was on a budget, using all my own money, because nobody was there to support you. Nobody is there to support you in the first place. Don't ever think there's support there. There's just not. There's Austrade that made a presentation basically asking universities to give them money to then be introduced to the right people. That's what I worked out. And somebody from Austrade actually told me that. That's what they wanted. They didn't want some small guy coming in and doing it. They wanted a big university that had a lot of money to give. And also it's for notoriety. Oh, this big Australian university has done this agreement with this big Japanese university. Imagine a small guy comes in and does it. That's just wrong. That's wrong to them. You've got to remember, these are lifelong bureaucrats. That's all they know. So they're not going to understand from my perspective what I needed. They just think, give us a big bag of money and we'll do something for you. And when I mentioned them the vocational college names, they had no idea who they were. So they didn't really know the market at all. Don't ever think they're experts. They're not. They're pretty much just bureaucrats that have been sent to Japan to fill in paperwork and to ask people for money. But so when COVID hit, I just ran out of money. I've exhausted everything I had. Students were coming on board, but just not enough to make it sustainable because there was a big startup cost. Office, you've got to pay a lot of money up front. Staying there while I couldn't really work was a big cost as well. And so it was a little bit mentally frustrating, emotionally as well. And but everything is still in place to run it. I can still do it, but there's just no. But now that I'm out of Japan, there's just no way to get back in to do it. I think a lot of these startup places, they want projects that are already making money. I don't think they're really interested in the super small guy. And that's why when I read a lot of things on LinkedIn saying, oh, Japan's open for innovation and startups, well, they're probably getting 10,000 ideas and they only sign up for one because that one's already making money or very close to making money. As if they're foreign, because entering the Japanese market as a foreigner, there is some suspicion there as to what's going on. Fair enough, I think that's a pretty fair thing to do. But no, I got a little bit frustrated with COVID, and it just took a lot out of me and really did hurt a lot of the effort I had made. But everything's still in place to get it up and running. I don't think the vocational colleges are going to be interested because of what happened with them during COVID as well. They haven't contacted me back to say we're ready to go with anything. I think that the fear there was COVID, a new contract, let's just not even reply. But what I'd really like is I'd like to be back there, find another partner to get back in, because I'm in Bangkok. I don't want to be here for much longer. I don't want to be here. That's probably the best way to put it. I don't want to be here any longer. It's not the right place for me. So if I can find a partner to organize stuff with in Japan, that would be great. Not only that, but I'm writing courses on digital communication and technology, design thinking, how to start a digital startup, and also digital video production as well. I have to speak to a big camera manufacturer today to start doing something with them. But I don't want to be here for much longer. I'd much rather be back in Japan. So if there's anybody that